welcome everybody to the Cryptoverse DAO. If you're in our Discord, you're hearing this live. This will be posted on our YouTube. So if you're watching the YouTube, make sure to like the video. Share it with a friend, a cousin, a brother, and let's get this crypto right. So today we're gonna be doing quick technical analysis. Then on the Discord live, we'll be doing an open discussion. It's good to see everybody here. Let's get into Bitcoin and what's going on in the markets. So this is what we're looking at. No lines on this chart right now. Pretty much on a 3-hour time frame. All I'm looking at is the next high, right? So the next high, we passed these highs, this little double top that had the drop. We passed this high. The next high would be either this area or this area. So this is now our new resistance zone. As you can see, we come to this wick, we weren't able to pass above these areas. We did even this area is the main resistance area. As you see, we've had closes here, but then we had a nice rejection the next hour. A nice pump, rejection from the support, and now the same thing is happening except opposite. So this is how you see the flip of trend lines. All trend lines, horizontal or diagonal, are just support or resistance. So this is now our resistance zone. As well, we have kind of a strong support level that this 3-hour candle has fallen below, but now we're seeing support to the downside. So before we get into some lower time frames, I'd like to just go into the higher time frame. We can see that all of that is pretty much out of the water. We're just working in between this new zone. Notice how on this daily candle we stayed above this zone for quite a while. 3 days, 4 days. We tested the first day, second day in, closed in, third, and then fourth day we dropped out. So now this is a bullish test. We've hit a bottom, we've hit a low, and now on the daily we can see the next high would be around this area. And as well on the daily we see how we've come back up to this midpoint of this bearish candle, or the 50% level. So the 50% levels are very strong in these markets. But if we were to draw a fib from let's drop from this drop high to the last part of the drop to the lowest part of the drop, or the lowest low, lowest wick. We can see right now we haven't tested the 786, haven't tested the 0.80, but we are battling to stay above this 618 area. Let me make sure that's the 618. Yep. So the 618 we are above right now on a daily time frame. Also, what we see yesterday, right, on yesterday's daily close, we have a doji. This doji, we went ahead and we swept this doji's, or we call this a hammer, right? Hammer candle. We continue down. This doji, is it going to act as support, or is this the upside test for the day? We still have 4 hours and 33 minutes left in the candle. So that tells us in 34 minutes we'll have a 4-hour close. Let's see how this 4 hour is going to close. Let's see what's going on the other side. Battle to get above this horizontal resistance. That's the only key for us right now. You see how these for this 8 hours we're battling to get above it. Wick to this resistance, wick to the resistance, finally a candle close above the resistance. So that's that shows how why candle closes matter so much. You can see as this candle's trying to come close below it, for this 4-hour close, 34 minutes, a lot of resistance or support in this area. As we see these candles, the candles that closed here and then opened here is acting as support. So as simple as that on the 4-hour. If we wanted to do some larger structure, right, there's a couple of different lines we could draw. We have 2 touches on this one. We want 3 touches mainly. So why not, instead of using the wicks, like this is a strong support line, I'm assuming, right, because top of the wick it encompasses all the candles, right? But you could also draw a tighter trend line. So the trend lines really depend off of your preference. And we could also see once this trend line broke, 1 touch, 2 touches wick, we got the third touch, once it broke above, held as support, it started to use as support. So this is like more of a kind of like a symmetrical triangle. I'd like to see kind of play out as the bulls could run through this zone. We haven't had a significant upside rally in this extreme bearish period yet, right? This is the first real bullish impulse. If we're looking at from the drop here, right, to this first drop, right, this first low, we can see how much the bulls retraced on this pump. So the bulls only retraced off of this dump only about to the 236 level, which is minimal. Usually the bullish retracements are we would like to see at least the 0.50 level being hit, but the times we're in have been extremely bearish. So if we extended the fib to our lowest low, we now see this 0.382 level being hit on the freaking head. You can't make that shit up, right? You can't make it up. So now the question is, does this whole movement, this whole impulse over 5 days, this huge move, right? Maybe even more than 5 days, 14 days, right? 10 to the 23rd. We're not there, 23rd yet. So about 11-day move. We've been bearish up to about 4 days ago. So from this 4-day period, this is a bullish trend, right? Now what we have to see, and what I'm looking for, is just a higher low to form. What I want is the bulls to carry this price down, maybe even bring in, let's see the retracement that would come in from this bullish trend, right? We were measuring the bearish. Now this is a bullish fib. Now we're measuring the bearish retracement. So what I'd like to see from this retracement is at least a 382 level, maybe 618. If we get to 786 and we're holding support here, I'd like to take longs. This is my long areas. We don't want to take longs from, well, we don't want to take trade from the middle of the zones. So if we wanted to make another range to kind of range this in, kind of capture the whole range, we can see this being our range playing out. What we'd like to do is take shorts from the top side, make sure we have some structural resistance, and then we'd like to take longs from around this area. Now this is going to keep you out of the chop, right? Entering in the middle of a zone, let's say we entered along here, or along here. I mean, the move played out. You've had a nice move up, and this is what I'm saying about these ranges. Look at how big of a range Bitcoin is playing in right now. Over a 20% range. So you entering in the middle is going to have 10%, almost 5 to 10% to the upside of drawdown, almost 10% to the downside of drawdown. So this is why we never enter in the middle of a range. We could have entered on some kind of consolidation if you're risky and your zones. We see that in this area right here, price is going sideways. We would take our shorts from up here, our longs from down here. And that's how you break it down and how you capture, how you pinch the zone, because simply all you'd have to do is put, your stop loss maybe below this wick, move it up once you get into slight profits, and just keep moving up. On the other hand, the shorts, if you enter the short over here on this, 4-hour doji, taking some, taking, your profits or moving your stop loss on the entry here or into profits would protect your account from, this sweep that came during our Asian session. Anyways, so that's pretty much, how I kind of like range, put our, the price action in a range. And now I'll show you guys what I'm looking at for kind of the immediate short-term future and my prediction on where Bitcoin will be going today. So we see this like pretty steep climb from price action right here. And when I see that, and we connect, the 3 wicks, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We can see that, this is kind of in a pinch right now. Like we see the lows are getting higher and the highs are getting higher. Lows are getting higher and the highs are getting higher. Lows are getting lower and the highs are getting higher. Well, not lower. The lows are, holding. Holding above the last low. So it's pretty much, strong bullish trend. But what happens when we get to the apex of, a pinch or a triangle like this? What happens when we get to the apex of any structure? You have volume or volatility. So this is, the pinch, pretty much. And this is what forms our breakouts or, or breakdowns. This what induces volatility. The more we pinch, the stronger the move. And this wedge is on a 3-hour time frame. So if we went down to like a 45-minute, we can see that, over the last 4 days, we've been building up to this wedge. So the higher the time frame, the higher the structure is on, the bigger the move, or the more conviction it has. So easy sell we took this morning. After trying to capture some of these sells that we did capture, just getting stopped out in profits. Easy sell from this morning. What do we have? If anyone wants to unmute and tell me what this is, give you guys 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds. This is a
wedge.
Okay, wedge. And then this is also a divergence, right? This is what you call the RSI divergence. Why is it a divergence? We see that the price action highs are getting higher. We see that RSI highs are getting lower. Divergence. Simple as that. They don't always carry out. Let's monitor some other divergence that we might have seen. We've seen, this high to this low. We see that this high was getting higher. On the price action, on the RSI was getting lower. Held that 60 RSI for, your final little bounce up and then rejection. Or, nice 45-minute candles down until that doji holds on the wedge support. So yeah, those are like kind of the divergences I'm looking for. And since we're in a complete bearish market, at least, for me, this pump has been nice. It has been fruitful in, your bullish endeavors, 21% from the bottom on Bitcoin. But what we really have to realize is, no matter how hard we pump, the longer, macro time frames are still bearish. So if we're looking back on like this new week, still 5 days, this week really hasn't even battled up to 50%. There's an imbalance here. You can see from this week, we came down to clear this imbalance. We came pretty much to this area in the price. And now we're actually might be holding as support. So let's go down to the daily and see. So, this was our range, our last range we were kind of working in, and price was kind of trapped inside of, right? These two kind of wider green lines leaded the last one for us. Let us see a little bit more clearly. We can see that the last price action that we had in this area down at this 20K area. Let me just get back to it on a 3-hour chart really quick. And notice how this is also our last all-time high. This area 19,700, I believe. So around this area, once we broke, this was Bitcoin's, I forget which run it was, but during, I think a 2017 bull market, 20K was the high. You can see that once we broke this, in 2020, once we broke the all-time high, we were gone. People never thought, Bitcoin would come down to this price level. And, it's testing 20K through 17K. And, First time ever. But for right now, that 19.7 area, all-time high, is now acting as support, right? So Bitcoin back above, its last all-time high. Still trying to hold some support. I don't doubt that, the bulls could come up to hit this level, test this zone, test this descending resistance. But for right now, the short was the move. We took the short from up here. We hold. We can maybe move our stop loss. Depending on your risk, you can move your stop loss up to here, or if you're comfortable with your profits, close here. Re-entries are always hard to come by, so that's why I like to hold my trades sometimes as well. We can see kind of how like this support is just this is the bull's last chance. If this line slips, we'll have a nice little drop from that 20% pump from the bottom. I'll just be looking for a nice little 8 to 10% retracement. If we could find a ascending triangle line, this one looks simple, valid.
Hey Simon, do you think that we got a little bullish divergence form in there?
Yeah, definitely on the 15. Yeah, bro. Look at how well. That's another thing I wanted to point out. So during our bullish times, we look for the 40 RSI to hold support. Right now, we don't see it on this specific price action right here. This is not a div to me because we can see that the price action closed here on this low, and then on this low, we dip below the 40, but we see that price action also closed below this low. So that's why this little area right here is not a div to me, but it is showing some reaction off of the 40. Look at this div though, right? This div above the 40, double bottom on the RSI. Notice how this price action is not exactly equal. This black candle closed a little bit lower, but on the RSI, it's damn near a double bottom. Nice bullish impulse right there. 15-minute double bottom holding above the 40. That's what we look for in the bull market. Let's do some more, back testing. We see, the 40, we come below the 40 RSI. We hold above oversold. Look at the battle from the bulls. This is over 2 hours of straight dojis battling back above the 40 RSI. Look at this black candle that comes in. Black candle tested the 40 as support, and then it's off to the races. Then, even this bearish divergence that we had, forming here, the head, the left shoulder, and then the right shoulder, this is what happens when, the market is bullish and we're in a bullish trend, not a macro bullish trend, but a short-term bullish trend. Something else we should probably look at. Let me see if this works. Okay, it works. Let's look at, previous. Let's look at previous bear markets, right? So just from, this 2019 bear market when we came down to the 30K, right? Notice it's kind of like the same thing. I mean, we come up, we hit this, double top and we drop sideways. We come up, double top, drop. Notice how, even from this high to the low, right? Almost 38% down. This is a bear market, but notice how from the low, we pump right back up 30%. So there are 30% pumps in the bear market that we have to be, cautious about. There is, nice bullish moments or bullish periods in this bear market. So even from this low, you come up and we pump another 60%. Is this still a bearish market? Maybe on 4 hour, 3 hour, we're making higher lows. So this is bullish, but on the daily, we still haven't cleared, these highs, this area. And then, that's when the market sucks everything up, dead cat bounce, and, maybe 30% up to another 60% down. And notice how like really going up is less of a battle on most, you know, on most pairs, right? Going from, you know, 6K to, let's say, you know, 12K, that's a, you know, that's 100%. But going from 12K, right, to 6K is only 50%. So that's something we have to pick up on the markets. You know, it is lucrative going down, but as well, you know, there is many percents to make on the upside, even during bear markets. So we can't just, you know, this is what the market does. The market flushes everybody out. Three days, you know, we're going, you know, over a week, we're going straight down. And then, you know, all the people that were holding, you know, that this 30K area, they're like, they're in such despair. They're finally starting to short down here, right? And then what does the market do? It comes up, it retraces, and it lures everybody back into the market. That's what it does. So from this high, still sitting about that 786 retracement. Not too much to go into. What we could look at on a different kind of perspective real quick, and why I still favor shorts right here, and I don't favor shorts on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin has had its bloodshed. I expect Bitcoin to, if we go back to the chart real quick, I expect Bitcoin to come back, pull back, you know, but when it pulls back, I expect the alts to dip a lot harder. Why do I expect the alts to dip a lot harder? This is why. ETH to Bitcoin dominance. Even during, you know, during this run, you know, this bullish rally, ETH has been taking up more dominance than Bitcoin. ETH has been stronger pumper, stronger mover. But why is that? ETH is a stronger, you know, ETH is a strong coin, but ETH also takes less market cap to move. Let me say that again. ETH is, you know, ETH is a strong coin, but it takes less market cap to move. So for Bitcoin to move up 10%, it's going to take approximately, it would take approximately $30 billion. For ETH to move up 10%, it's going to take only $10 billion. So knowing like the market cap and the different ratios definitely explains a lot. And what this is showing to me is that even though, you know, ETH has, you know, let's go to the ETH chart real quick. Ehoo, boy, here we go. All right. Even though, right, from June 17th, 18th, ETH dipped a lot harder than Bitcoin, but the recovery has been a lot stronger than Bitcoin. Let's go back to the Bitcoin chart. Hasn't been that much bigger. I thought this was going to be a bigger difference. Let me go back to ETH. %. So we can see from like the bottom candle, that really FU candle drop. Bitcoin's only moved 6% up, while ETH has moved, you know, over 10 to 11% up from this, you know, big drop we had. And that's just, you know, that's just alts kind of, you know, or ETH really like leading the show. Why is this a bad thing, right? Why is ETH leading the show a bad thing? Because ETH isn't the king of the market, right? ETH is still, you know, an altcoin, and altcoins, as they move, you know, they move more than Bitcoin to the upside gains. They also move to the downside more on Bitcoin. So with this kind of like this dead cat rally or a dead cat bounce that I'm seeing from, you know, Bitcoin on this run, I really still want to see a retracement. 19.7, Last all-time high would be great. 20K peg, that would also be worth a test. We see how 20K was hit over here, use the support, use the support, use the support until the fall. Use the support again, use the support. So, yeah, just realize your range, realize, you know, your central value range or CVR, something like that. I forget the name, or your equilibrium, right? Your midpoint of the zone or the range you're playing in. A lot of times, you know, nothing goes straight up or straight down. We have to create, you know, higher highs, but this higher high is still a lower high. Then we're gonna create, you know, a lower low to this low maybe, and then we maybe, you know, hold a higher low to this and then continue up. And we just wait for a structure to form, wait for a structure to break, and we keep it simple. Keep it real simple. On this 3-hour chart, what do we see? What do we see? Oh boy. Oh boy, 3-hour divergence. We see that, well, not really divergence, as this top is a little bit taller than this top, but we see the double top nonetheless. And then on the price action, we see a little bit more of a steeper climb for the 3-hour double top divergence. We now see it testing this MA 14 MA on the RSI, getting below that 21K barrier. Let's see some bloodshed. Wick straight to, you know, another resistance line, another point of emphasis, not being able to close candles above this area. And yeah, that's why, you know, that 40 divergence wasn't really too strong for me. Notice how when we came up on that pump to wick, notice how, you know, even this top right here, this bullish candle was a little bit higher than this candle, right, on the price action. But on the RSI, it said that this top was higher than this top. You know, those are low time frame divergences. The main thing is the higher time frames. When you see something like this, very nice, below the 60, we're in a bear market, worth a shot, right? We gotta simplify our trading and take the emotions out of it. The most I would have lost if I took this trade and it was a banger long, a loss could have been, you know, 1.52, so, or let's say 2%. In that case, how much am I willing to lose? How much of my leverage am I putting on? How much of my account am I putting on? That's the questions you ask, right? So I went in with maybe 50% of my account, 4 times leverage. You know, maybe made maybe 12% on that trade, but high capital on the trade. So you know, it's just all about your risk to reward. If this, you know, wants to fall another, this wants to fall another 7% or another 4%, it can. I don't take nothing away from the bears right now. Trading with the trend is your friend. Right now, just a short time bullish trend, and I'm really expecting ETH to BTC. We see how this descending triangle, or this kind of this range or this zone or descending trend lines have held all night. Now we're coming out of this zone, and we'll be looking for, you know, some support. We'll see if, you know, these areas could hold as well. But one more thing before we wrap up the technicals, we'll go to total 3 market cap. Now, total 3 market cap is the market cap of all of cryptos, excluding, without Bitcoin or ETH, Bitcoin and ETH. So when I see on the total market cap that, you know, the alts have really been leading the show, right? We look June 15th. Let's open up total. Ooh, let's go. Fuck yes. Listen to this, guys. So June 15th, total market cap, all cryptos, Bitcoin and ETH included. June 15th, we hit 95 billion, right? 95 billion. notice how June 15th, the alt market cap hit the same high, right? Same kind of peak. Alts peaked out. But what do we notice? What's the difference? Now, alts, with Bitcoin excluded, the alt market cap is past its high. Ooh, wee boy, this is why we shorten alts and not Bitcoin. This is why. There's more risk, there's less risk. There's less risk in shorting the alts when we could just, because if we looked at, the total market cap, Bitcoin will still need to put in, a lot more numbers. Bitcoin has the most market cap along with ETH. This is a lot harder place to get to. So right now we've made a lower low to this a lower high, I should say, on the total with everything included. But on only strictly altcoins, we've made a higher high. And when we made a higher high, what did we have? Divergences, right? Divergence from there, divergence from there. Notice how every divergence played out a little bit. From here to here, played out a little bit. But from here to here was the one that, everyone was waiting for because there was still bullish momentum. Alts could do whatever the fuck they want to do. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. But, alts, that's why you see SNX pumping almost, 100%, right? 120%. That's why we see waves, even from this morning, right? Doing a 40% gain. So that's just like some of there's discrepancies in the markets and what we have to pick up on. Notice, why are alts pumping so hard when Bitcoin is still at 20K? Just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't, unless that's the strongest altcoin in the market, and that's ETH. So it's not the strongest altcoin in the market. Altcoins will die, but they will also pump, right? They will also have these mad fucking gains, FOMO everybody in, take out everybody that was in their long position from $7 just to come back down. Now I wouldn't short this right now, as I would wait for Bitcoin or ETH to have a pump to try to catch a short on this. But I do expect the alts to dip a little bit harder. Do expect them to dip a little bit harder. Right now, if we just drew the descending triangle, we'll see a line like that, and this is now our support that we'd have to break. We break this, run to here, support here, maybe back up to here, and then crash down through. Nothing goes straight down or straight up. So I'll be looking for a support maybe around this area. If this doesn't hold right, this could hold right here where it is. Pump up to here, test the resistance, and then come down. But yeah, that's just what it is. We've caught a pretty nice move, and remember, you could be right and you could be wrong at the same time, right? So right now we said, okay, we're short, we're right. This hits its support and does a 3-minute candle of moon, and we're right back where we started, right? So definitely have to be cautious. Double bottom on the 1 minute. Don't really want to watch the 1 minute right now. We're not really in a scalp type move. This is something I want to play out. I want the 3 minute to crash into oversold. Maybe even breaking down to that's crazy. Lots of support. We can see how the RSI is already back oversold, but the price action is still way above all of these prices. So we'll see who has some strength right here. Yeah, that's about it for right now. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, just a quick one, Simon. Just on the monthly chart.
Yeah.
I just wanted to highlight something and see what you think about this.
Of course, my Don.
Now you see that wick where we've rejected that support, yeah. Maybe on the weekly, that's like a weekly support. Now, this level here, like Bitcoin's found support here, right? And that rejection that we've got off of that, that's enough to initiate, you know, a bull move.
Yeah,
I'm trying to say. That. So the thing is, is that right now, where everyone thinking is gonna short, we still gotta watch out for bullish signs, because this could be, you know, a reversal time as well. Possibly, this could end up being a long to new all-time highs. We can't just think, you know, we've been selling off for the last few months now. Everyone is
since November
thinking short, and you know they can reverse the markets any given time. So this area of support here has been something that has just caught my eye, right? And these are the ones where you need to keep a good eye on, you know.
Let's look at all of it. So this is the index. So we see all the bull markets. Let's see what we see here. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna put that line on. Beautiful. Like all you had to do is put that's the order block right there.
You know what I mean?
What do you think about this one, John? Though?
They could weaken to that very easily, you know. Maybe even like, you know, we're not even too far from that previous resistance that turned support unmitigated volume imbalance there, plus order block. There's a lot of like reasons for them to drop down there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I mean,
go back. I wasn't even talking about that one, but look at that. Look at that other resistance you marked, how it coincides with, you know, the same level. But I was talking about the next one to the right.
This one?
No, just go down. That resistance in the middle. It's like a W. To the left. Yeah, that lower high there. Right there. To the right. Right there. Yeah, this lower high. If you mark the top of that resistance.
Like right here, sir?
No. The one right in the middle.
This one?
Yeah, the high there. Up. Yeah. This high.
Okay.
This previous, like that sort of region, yeah. You can see to the right, you got that. You see that order block? Then you got the volume imbalance when you got the liners. This area is very like significant, because to the left, you've got, you know,
support.
Exactly, you've got support, and then you've got what you got there. You've got like
this is our all-time high too. This is the last all-time high.
You see, so these levels here are very, very significant, and a lot can happen, you know, over the next coming weeks with Bitcoin. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So weekly, well, this week, we had an upside test, but it hasn't been too. I mean, still in that doji form. Let's look at that all-time high one more time over here, So, boom, same thing on the monthly. You know, hit that wick, and then once you finally got through the all-time high, people are like, okay, we're never coming back to all-time high. Once we break it, right? We spent 3-4 weeks here. Once we break it, nobody think we're coming back. Straight back. Yeah, but just really, we really could have probably caught that bounce, you know, below all-time high, below 20K, lots of FOMO, and notice how, like, you know, ETH and Bitcoin really took this dump a lot harder than some of the alts. Let's see one of these alts. Rune. So notice how, like, this is June 15th, right? June 15th to here is 30%, which is huge, major. But when Bitcoin started its major dump, which is on the 15th, let's look real quick. When Bitcoin did its major dump from here, right, the 18th, everything dumped on the same spot, 13% there. So, and now we see Rune. If we did Rune from there, only 13%. How does it all dip the same amount as Bitcoin, right? Or roughly the same amount as Bitcoin when, you know, the market's so bearish. So this is why I think, you know, Bitcoin holds the 17K. It gives life to all the alts just to make that double top come in. And then we see the alts take the lows. When we see the alts take lows and then we see Bitcoin hold above, when we see Bitcoin hold above, this 18K 1942 region, like that's when I'll, try to look for my longs if we could catch some. But if not, our stop loss is on entry, and we have a limit, a buy limit, maybe, a risky little buy limit above here, 21.7, to take us to, this next zone, which I'd be aiming for if we were to go bullish. Maybe retest this line as a retest, and that's but that's my thinking of why I wanted to short alts. If Bitcoin does hold the line above 20K, alts could pump more than it, but Bitcoin would actually have to put in some actual Bitcoin would have to put in some actual dominance, and like actually pump up. I'm trying to find the Bitcoin dominance chart. 1 second. Wow, right to the zone. I haven't looked at this in a while. Wow. So this is the reason. This is the reason, right? Nice little bearish divergence. Well, not from there, but this is what, weekly. Market cap, and the big whales would convert their alts into Bitcoin. That's not what I do. I probably would convert my alts into USDT, keep it stable. But there are big players that, when the alt markets do diminish, right? Like, think about how SNX and Waves, pumped 40% in, the last 2-3 days. Notice how, like, that money could have literally been just transferred from, their Bitcoin holdings to the alts. Wait till, the alts put up some money and then buy Bitcoin at a lower price. Or hedge back into Bitcoin. So there's a lot of different ways. But that's about it for today, guys. Just short little stream. Just watching the rising wedge. If the rising wedge doesn't pop down, then, the bulls could have some momentum. Right now, we're seeing that oversold is trying to hold, but the 15-minute, for the bulls to have enough strength for this move, would need to carry into oversold, right? We can't hold above this area, especially because look at where this low is at on the RSI. Price action 1980. Now the price is at 2,980, but the RSI is like, look how close it is, almost a double bottom. So the lower time frames can break divergences a lot easier. If you look at the 45-minute, we're just below the 40 or the 50 RSI, so it still has room on the 45-minute. I would be expecting the lower time frames to maybe hit a little quick bounce to the 50, reset, and come back down if it doesn't just crash straight through. But yeah, that's about it for today, guys. Thank you for joining another Cryptoverse stream. We have the best analysis, the best news in the whole market, really. If you want pre-sales, if you just want, stable help, farming help, the best spot coins to buy, this is where it happens. The DAO is a team, and we all work together to get these crypto gains. Thank you guys for tuning in. Your boy Simon says, and we out.